Hey, welcome to my channel and to another weigh-in. Now, I wasn't sure how it was going to go this week because my scales, y'all know I weigh every day, my scales have been like all over the place. Up, down, up, down. I'm like, okay, let's be on the right track come weighing day. Let's don't be having some kind of down on Wednesday and the up on Thursday. How did it shake out? I'll tell you. I weighed in at 315.2 for a loss of 1.6. Yay! And that puts me at 61.9. So I am still in the 60s. Working my way, chipping my way at it, trying to get there. We'll see what this new knee doctor says, which I go to, I don't know, it was sometime in May. I can't remember May what, May something. I go to him. Go to my endocrinologist in May in a couple weeks, and I hope my blood sugars are good. I hope my blood sugars are good. We'll see about that too. But I messaged my doctor this week about a sleep study. I have sleep apnea, and it is pretty bad. So I've been on CPAP for, oh my gosh, many years. December of 2019, my sleep doctor, he's my lung doctor, but he is also a sleep doctor. He wanted to get a new sleep study. I'm like, well, here's the thing. That's when that fall I had stopped being able to lay in the bed. And it was worse then than it is now. It was, oh my gosh, it was terrible. I said, I don't think I can lay in the bed and take a study. So I didn't get it, and I just used my old machine, kept using it. Well, sometime last year, a good while back last year, it broke. The heater went out on it, and that cold air, no, it was painful. So I just threw it away. I didn't think about getting fixed. It didn't even cross my mind until after I threw it away. I was like, what if I could have got that fixed? So I'm getting just the worst sleep. It's just terrible sleep. So I messaged my regular doctor. I told her, I'm like, here's the deal. My sleep sucks. I can't lay in the bed flat, but I'm willing to suck up the pain in order to get a new CPAP machine. So I am waiting on them to call me. Yesterday, my washing machine has, the past couple times I've washed in it, has been making a funky noise, and the first load a couple days ago didn't ring out properly. I'm like, okay, was it a fluke? Did it get off, center or something like that? I don't have an agitator in mine. I have what they call an impeller. I had to look it up. I wasn't sure. So I'm going to get my butt whooped in public one day. This is involuntary. Yeah. So I washed some towels, like 4 towels. I have more in my load. I want to go put all of them in there just in case. Well, sure enough, it started really making that noise, and they did not get wrung out. It took like 3 cycles on my washing machine, if not dryer, if not 4, to get those towels dry. So I told David, I said, we got to call the man. Y'all know that episode of Andy Griffith where Aunt Bee's got the big chest freezer out on the back porch, and it starts doing its thing. He's like, call the man. She's like, well, they'll charge, so. He's like, Aunt Bee, call the man. So I told David that's our thing. I said, we're going to have to call the man. So I called the man, and they come out yesterday morning, and David went in there and talked to him. He come out. I said, what was it? He goes, the transmission. I'm like, so we got to get a whole new washing machine. We ain't had that washing machine long. Here's the thing. We asked the man. He said they're all crap. That's what he said. He said all of them. I said, what would you as a repairman suggest to buy because you know what you work on? He said he has a Speed Queen and he wouldn't have anything else. He said he's haven't had it 7 years and it's never been touched. Speed Queen are a lot of what the laundromats use. Well, we looked it up, and the one we found that we could get around here was like $1,300 for a washing machine. I'm like, you better kill that noise. That ain't happening. No. But he told us, he goes, all the machines, he said, you got all the names, you got all the bells and whistles on the top. He said, the inside guts, the motors and things, he said, they're all the same. He said, they're all crap. That's what he said. So we were looking up washing machines, and we figured this was our reasoning. If they're all crap, regardless of the brand, if they're all the same, he hates all of them, then we might as well get the exact same one we had that goes with our dryer, so we'll have a matching set. If they're all going to crap out, then we might as well match what we got. So we just went to Sears. We just ordered it online. We ordered it online because we knew exactly what we wanted. It's the exact same thing we got now. It was actually on sale, and then we saved some extra, and then I signed up for something and got a $35 code in my text. It even told you when they're going to deliver it, next Wednesday. So we clicked, do you want them to install it or not install it? And Dave was like, well, busy as he is doing this, that, and the other with cars and yards and things, he goes, just pay for it, let them install it. So all we got to do is just haul this one out of here, do something with it, and then they'll just come and put the other one in. Here's the thing, though. They make you buy the hose. We have the hose that hooks up to the water, but they make you buy it or they won't install it. On the website, when you're ordering it, we said, no, we don't want it. And it says, well, you can't have it installed. And we're like, but we have one. I told David, I said, that's probably some kind of fail-safe for people that think they have the right thing, and then when they come to install it, they don't have the right thing. So it's probably just some kind of fail-safe for them. So we paid $25 for a hose we did not need. But anyway, whatever. That's how it happens. So let me tell you about my paper towels. On my Walmart order, I needed some paper towels. I like sparkle with the prints. I hate white paper towels. They're so boring. And you can't get printed paper towels like you used to. Everybody's was printed. Remember you used to get Christmas prints and Halloween prints, and then after the holiday, I remember at Kmart's especially, and that is really dating myself. At Kmart's, you could go in and they would just have stacks and stacks of after the holiday paper towels for dirt cheap. So you'd be using Halloween come Easter if you stocked up. Well, they did not have it in stock at the store. But since I ordered $35 worth, it let me have it shipped for free. So it says it'll be here. I ordered my groceries Tuesday. It says it'll be here Wednesday. Well, first of all, we had a door-to-door trying to tell us how to vote, and Dave was like, no, we got it covered. And she kept talking. I said, just shut the door. When you tell them to stop and they don't stop, I'm just like, I get kind of rude. I'm like, no, thank you. I'll start out nice, but if you keep jabbering, I'm going to no thank you, and I'm going to shut the door, which what I do is I don't even open the door because I don't know these people. I have one of those glass front doors that you can pull down the glass, and then there's the screen, so you can have a screen on top, but then you pull it back up, and it's just a glass door, and you can't see the screen. So people come to my door, I just let the screen down, let them talk. And if they keep talking while I done told them no thank you, I just politely roll my little screen back up and tell them bye. No thank you. I don't know, I don't know, I don't like it. So he just told her, he said, no, we got it covered. And she kept on. I'm like, just shut the door. And he told her, he says, no, we got it covered. Trying to tell us how to vote. Right? Well, wasn't too long after that. I heard him say something to somebody, and he started coming down the hall. I didn't see him yet. I was doing something on the main computer. I said, did she come back? He said, no, it's your paper towels. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, this woman just come up to the door and said, get your paper towels. So he went down here and put them in the closet. I said, what was she driving? He said, just a little white car. So I don't know where them paper towels come from one day to the next. It's just some little woman just hand delivered them, not even in a box. They wasn't shipped by no shipping people, no UPS, no nothing. Just this woman come and handed him the paper towels. So where does that come from? I don't know of any Walmart distribution center we got around here. David said, did she go to Food Line and buy them? I don't know where she got them, but I got my paper towels. So that will work. I got them the same day I would have got them had I picked them up at the store, because I got my groceries yesterday and got my paper towels yesterday. So listen, let me tell you. One day this past week, on my Facebook memories, was when we were putting the roof on the porch. We got the porch finished in fall, and then we waited, it was, well, till this month, April, before we started on the roof. Well, that was the rainiest, we said it was monsoon season. We couldn't remember a rainier time of year than 4 years ago. Might have been 5 years ago, because it seemed like the porch was put on 4 years ago. It was 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. Well, they didn't get the roof finished because they were doing, I don't know what they were doing. They had to build out the roof from our roof. They had to build a roof over the porch, obviously. So they were doing on that, and they didn't get it finished. So we had this giganimo tarp that we put over the house, right? Well, it was so big, it went over this side of the house and then over the porch rafters. It went all the way over. Well, the rafters, that's all there was. There was no wood over it. It was just open rafters. Well, it started raining, and I don't know why I went out there and looked. Well, probably just because I was looking at the rain, because I love the rain. The tarp was sinking down below every single rafter, and David had gone to work, and it was sinking in and dripping over the sides because the rain was so heavy. The tarp was going to fall in, and I called him. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? He's like, you got to figure out a way to get that water out. So it's dark, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So I got the broom, and I had the broom handle, and I was pushing up to like run the water off. Well, what it would do when I push up in the middle, part of it would run this way and part of it would run that way. So I kept trying and trying. I was working myself to death. And I can't remember if when he come home in the morning, I did as long as I could before I had to go to bed. And he come home in the morning. I can't remember which one of us, I think it was me, honestly, decided take the broom part and sweep it down. So, I mean, it was heavy. Water is heavy. So we would start up at the roof line and sweep it down. And most of it would go off the end. Some of it would go into the next set of water bubbles. I mean, they were slagging. So we would just start at one side, work all the way. That's a big porch. There's a lot of roof rafters in that thing. We would work one side down. So what we did, he come home from work. We had our chairs out there. We just sat on the porch. I would take a turn sweeping all the way down, and then we would sit there, and as they would fill up again, he would take a turn. And we did that for, oh my gosh, hours. And then he went to bed. I did it during the day. Then I had to do it at night when he went to work. He did it a little bit before he went to work, and we did that until we were dog tired. So the memory hadn't come up yet, but during the same process of getting the roof on and all the rain that would not stop for days on end, and it was not just sprinkling, it was gully washing. Well, another day he had gone to work, and all of a sudden we had a ceiling fan in there in the living room. All of a sudden, water started pouring through that ceiling fan. I started freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to short the whole house out because it's electricity, even though the ceiling fan wasn't on, the light wasn't on. It started pouring out there. Then it started running. I guess it hit a line in the ceiling. It started running, and then it started running over in the corner. So I was grabbing bowls, trash cans, anything I could find to catch this water. So I called him crying. I'm like, honey, the roof is pouring. The ceiling is pouring. So I kept them there and emptied them as they needed to be until he got home and it stopped. In the middle room, it also leaked in the corner. We had to have the whole corner re-drywalled. We have not to this day put up a new ceiling fan. Somehow it dried itself out. We got some like water stains around it. Some of the other water stains actually dried up, but we had to no, not yet. During the whole situation again, I'm sitting over there in my chair. I had a different lift chair then, but I still had a lift chair, and I was sitting. It was still in the same corner because that's pretty much the only corner you can put it in. I was sitting there, and next thing I know, the ceiling flew in down on my head. Sheetrock, insulation, the whole 9 yards, and there's David's leg. He fell through the roof. They were fixing something, and he slipped and just came straight down. Bless his heart. He did not get hurt, surprisingly, and I got bombarded by ceiling crap. So we had to have the corner of the ceiling re-drywalled. We had the biggest mess trying to get that roof fixed on that porch. I'm going to tell you what. I can still see us out there. I bet people drove by thinking, what are them idiots doing? I'll tell you what them idiots were doing. We were trying to keep that tarp from sinking all the way in and then pulling off the roof. You see what I'm saying? And then water getting all over our inside and no. So boy, oh boy, did we go through it. Now, let me tell you this. This morning, I was in here and I was working on my menu, just finalizing like how many points my foods were. I don't give y'all points. I thought I tried one day, but I'm like, I'm not going to give points because what I'm doing is unlike what anybody else is doing. So it is fruitless for me to give you points because whatever you're doing, your points are not going to be mine. And if you don't even count points, who cares? You don't care about points. If you see something that sounds interesting, all you got to do is put it in your own recipe builder. Simple as that. So I was back here finalizing that and putting some, because y'all know, cutting and pasting is my thing. Cutting and taping is my thing. Well, I had a couple magazines I found at the thrift store. There was some recipes and stuff that I wanted to save. Well, I was to the end of the book I got now. All the pages, front and back. Ross and Rachel on Friends, whenever they were on a break, and then they get back together at that beach house, and Rachel writes him that letter, and then he falls asleep reading that letter, and then the scene there back in the apartment, they're laying in the bed, and she's there in front, and she goes, if what you need to gain a little perspective, and he's like, she says he was cheating, and he says he wasn't. So then he got up, and she said, you fell asleep? And he said he fell asleep reading the letter. She's like, you fell asleep? And she said something about all those sleepless nights thinking about me. And he's like, don't worry, I still have your letter. 18 pages, front and back. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking about little composition book of things to try, front and back, all finally finished. So I was over here in my, because y'all know I love notebooks. Y'all know I got these little obsessions, things I like, things I collect. Well, I'm just about to need more notebooks. So I do use them. I got like two over here in front of me. One's for just writing stuff, just when I make notes, things I'm going to talk to y'all about, like Motivational Monday, all the things we've done in the past. When I'm making my menu, I scribble it in this book before I put it on my paper. And then I got another little book that I put like just stuff in. So I do use my notebooks, not my little ones. I just collect those pretty much. I'm pulling out every now and then. So anyway, I was pulling out a notebook and I seen one. I thought, oh, I want that one because it's not really, really big. Turns out it was a book of menus. Boy, that was back in the day when I could just write out what we were going to eat because I gave no thought to calories, carbs, points. It was just food and we ate it. Guess when it was from? The only menu book of any sort that I have saved, and why I keep saving it year after year is beyond me. I just saved none before. I have menu planned in all kind of different ways, different formats and papers and books. This one I keep saving. I guess I don't know why. I just keep putting it back with my notebooks. 2015. So it was from 2015. When I tell you I meal planned for years before I started Weight Watchers, well, there was 2015, and I've been doing it for years before that. Weight Watchers was 2018. I was thumbing through there looking. I'm like, oh my gosh. Wouldn't I, you hear my Billy Graham, wouldn't I like to eat like that again? And then that's when we were ordering Swans a lot. Swans has got good food, but it is fattening food. That's why it's so good. But we ordered Swans a lot because RJ worked for him and we got his discount. And then Swans runs great sales. And then you get points for everything you buy. And then you get tons of free food. So they would get rid of food in there because he worked in the freezer. And then they would get rid of food. It was either going to quit selling it or the box was dented or something. And so he would bring us all kind of free food all the time. We got great benefits from when he worked at that job. But I'm going to tell you what, it was a tough job because he loaded the freezer. And he would come and he sent us a picture one time. He had his toboggan on and he had the big suit on and everything because, I mean, freezing cold in there. And he had his beard. He looked like Santa Claus. His beard was so white with ice all over his beard, his hat, his eyebrows, everything. So anyway, we got good benefit from Swans. But yeah, I found that 2015 menu book and I'm like, there's really nothing in it that I can eat now. I mean, I could modify some things, which I already do, but I put it right back in the drawer. Let's see. I wrote down here what I wanted to tell you about. When I think of stuff during the week, if I don't write it down to tell y'all, come video day, we'll just be sitting here looking like a deer in headlights. I think that's all I wanted to tell y'all about. Listen, there was one Facebook memory about when I had gotten, and that's back when I would go off and leave the dishwasher running. I would go off and leave the washing machine running and the dryer running. I don't do that anymore. I don't. If I know I'm going to be gone, I won't start it. Or if the dryer's running, I'll open the door and turn it off while I'm gone and turn it back on when I get home. But I had got a sample of something from somewhere, and I thought it was dishwasher tab or cleaner. Maybe it come in a pack, and I thought it was dishwasher cleaner. I think that's what it was. So I put it in there, turned the dishwasher on, went on about my business. I come home. I'm going to tell you what. It looked like Mr. Bubba was up in my kitchen. It was dishwashing liquid. And I'm going to tell you what, my kitchen floor was flooded with bubbles. Y'all remember Mr. Bubble? I love Mr. Bubble as a kid. Mr. Bubble smells so good. Oh my gosh. Mr. Bubble smells so good. I don't know how it smells these days, but back then it smelled so good. I raised my kids on Mr. Bubble. But I'm going to tell you what, that's what my floor looked like. That was a mess, and I have to clean up. Let me tell you. I remember one time. It's funny now, but it was not funny at the time. David was fixing the pipes under the sink, and it was nothing he did. One of the things popped off. It just shot. You would not believe the water pressure that comes into the house up into your kitchen faucet. It shot through there and was like a fire hose. It was coming out. He was holding it as hard as he could hold his hand up on it because it was flooding the kitchen. And he's telling me, go turn the water off. Go turn the water off. Because you couldn't turn the valve off under the sink because it had popped off of the wall. So it was just the pipe coming in from the water. That's what was sticking out of the wall. There was nothing you could turn off because it was just the pipe. And he was just hollering, go turn off the water, go turn off the water. Well, there's two places to turn off the water. One is under the house. I could not get under the house. There's no way I could crawl under the house. The other one was out at the road at the meter. Now, I know how to turn that one off. So I go out there. It's dark. I finally find the meter because, grass is around it. We ain't got no lights up there. I finally find it. I get in there. I can't get it to move. I cannot get it to move. It would not twist. I was just not strong enough. And so this whole time he's in there trying to hold the water back, not working. He looked like a drowned rat because he was soaked. The kitchen floor was flooded. Under the sink was flooded. I ended up calling Holly's ex-boyfriend who lived down the road. I'm like, can you come help me, please? He jumped in his truck and he was here. He didn't even question it. He said, I'll be there. So he come and he couldn't get the one out at the road either. So he ended up getting under the house and turning it off under the house. But oh my gosh, we have had some messes. We have had some messes in this house. Listen. And it was at Christmas time, when they got through with the porch, the man who does the brickwork, we kept him around and had him do some other things, put some things around our vents around the bottom of the house. He helped David do some woodwork around the fascia boards, whatever. Soffits, eaves, whatever you want to call it. They replaced some wood there. He did a few other things for him. He fixed some cracks that were out here in the retaining wall. Well, him and one of his guys, they were going to put in the patio doors. And so it just so happened when they got through with the porch, he stayed around, and it was Christmas time when they were cutting out the back wall. But because where the sliding glass doors are, when you see us sitting there like doing a tag, or if I'm sitting on that side of the sink. Oh my gosh. When I'm sitting on that side of the sink, when I'm sitting on that side of the kitchen table, you'll see the sliding glass doors. There'll eventually be a deck out there, but there ain't one yet. 4 years and there ain't no deck yet. So anyway, if you've ever had brickwork cut out, because there was just a double window back there, that's all it was. If you've ever had brickwork cut in your house to make room for a new window or a door, anything, you know what a mess brick dust makes. They started cutting, and that fine little brick dust went on every single surface of my house. I went crazy. I'm like, you better fix that, and you better fix that now. Because they were just getting started, and they had a whole thing to cut out. So they fixed some heavy plastic thing around to where they would have room to work on the inside of the house, and maybe it would keep the dust inside the plastic and outside the house. It did not work. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My house, if I was crying real tears of what I had to clean up when they got through. It was the biggest mess I have ever seen in my life. I don't know. Drywall does not make that big a mess. I remember when they was replacing the drywall in here in this little room, I took like plastic, just thin, real thin plastic, and I taped it all around my kitchen cabinets to where it would drape down and it would not get on my appliances and in the cracks and stuff of that. But that brick dust, I'm telling you, I was crying. I was crying literal tears. When it was happening, I was crying, and when I was cleaning up, I was crying. I don't know how I got that stuff out of my house. In every single room of this house. It was on every single surface in this house. It was, oh my gosh, it was terrible. So we have had some messes trying to fix this house up, and we ain't through yet. We ain't through yet. We still got stuff to do. But you know what? I think I was talking about that to y'all. Was I talking to y'all? I don't know. If I was, I'll talk to y'all again. I used to let it bother me because I was like, oh my gosh, we're never going to get this house done. If we don't get this house done, I'm going to go insane. And then one day I was just like, you know what? We'll get it when we get it. I got a roof over my head. I got food in my belly, plenty of food in my belly. I got everything I need. Some people don't even have as much as I got. Some people don't have a roof over their head, much less a finished house. Yeah, some people got nice, finished, beautiful, pretty houses. I don't have one of those. I just have a house that's lived in. I have a house that still needs work done to it, but I'm thankful to have what I have. And so I'm glad I got that mindset changed to where I wasn't moaning and groaning about what I didn't have. I was thankful for what I did have. And look what I got now. I know some of y'all think, you excited about that? Look at that junk in that room. Well, it's my junk room, and it's full of my junk, and I love my junk. I got this room that I can do my crafts in. I got all my different crafts, here and there, and I can pull out and do whatever I want to do. It's all mine. This is nobody's room but mine. I got another bedroom that, well, Sebastian calls it his room. That is his room. But that's where I keep all my cookbooks. And thank y'all to y'all that send me cookbooks, because that keeps adding to my collection, even on top of what I buy. Yes, it's an addiction. It's an addiction. I have so many things that I'm addicted to. Food is one I'm trying to kick. I'll tell you that. I've gotten so much better at it. I've kicked the Little Debbie's. I've kicked the sugar. I still like a sweet treat. I ain't going to say that. I ain't going to say I never, ever have a sweet treat. But I don't constantly think about sugar. I don't constantly try to eat sugar. So I kick that. I don't eat like tater chips and all that stuff anymore. I used to eat Pringles all the time. Little Debbie's and Pringles. Those are my two things that I kept over there by my chair. And I ate them all the time. Every night. When they were gone, guess what? They got replenished. There was no end in sight to the Little Debbie cakes and Pringles that I ate. So I don't think of myself as a food addict anymore. I don't know. Once you're an addict, are you always an addict? I have been addicted to a lot of things in my life. There's always going to be something that is, whether you believe it or not, there's an addictive gene in my family from one of my parents, and it's not my mama. And I think addictive genes are passed on. I think you have a gene that you are more susceptible to being addicted to things. I also have bipolar disorder. I am manic depressive. I go through manic stages, and some of the things I have done in those manic stages I am not proud of, but I mean, they happen. And a lot of manic stages, I spend a lot of money. That is one of the things that happens. And it's one of those things that you don't really think about it until it's over. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I just pissed away all that money? Did I just do that? And then guess what? It happens again. Yeah, I take medicine for it, but it's not a cure-all 100%. You're done. It's managing it. It manages it. But I have different things that I'm addicted to, and I think I'm always going to have something I'm addicted to. And I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, judge me or don't judge me, but you better not judge me. Of all the things I have been addicted to, obsessed with in my life, the least of my problems, the least of which I'm concerned with, are cookbooks, craft supplies, notebooks, notepads. Those are the least of my problems of what somebody could be obsessed with or addicted to. So those are things I enjoy, and those are things I'm going to keep spending my money on, and doing the thrill of the hunt at the thrift store, the thrill of the find at the Dollar Tree. And so, I don't know how we got on that subject. How did we get on that subject? I do not know. Oh, being thankful, I was thankful that I got that room in there, that I got somewhere to put all my cookbooks. I got somewhere to store them. I got everything I need. I don't have everything I want, but I got everything I need. So, that's not weight related, but I would encourage you to maybe rethink if you're having issues. I've had issues. I mean, major issues with my station in life. Major issues, because I don't think things that happened to me as a child were fair. I don't think things that have happened to me as an adult were fair. So I've had problems with how things have happened. But then I've got to get to the point in my life to where I got to say, be thankful for what you got and where you're at, because people's got it worse than you. Now, I believe, this is how I believe, just because this person is worse off, it does not negate your feelings. So if something bad happens to you, even if it's not as bad as it happened to them, it doesn't negate what you're going through. I believe in that. So I believe if things happen to me, yeah, I can moan and groan and complain, have my little pity party. I just can't live there. That's what I've told y'all before. Have your pity party. Sometimes it helps to get it out. It's cathartic. You have that pity party. You cry and you whine and you moan and you bitch and you carry on. But then you get over it and you just carry on. You just don't live there. You get it out of your system, and then you move on. So I think I have got a lot out of my system of things that have happened, things that, like the house, different little things, and decided to say, well, at least it's this way. I got this. I got over that. It doesn't happen anymore. You got this. So I guess that's what we can take away maybe from today's video. However we got here, I guess talking about different things in the house, I guess we can take away to, let's try to be thankful and grateful for what we have, for the things in our life that are good, and try not to dwell on the things that are bad, and try not to be so negative. And you know what? That's a hard one for me, because I'm a pessimist. I think if anything can go wrong, it's going to go wrong. And it's going to go wrong for me. And then if I call it up, of course, it's going to go wrong. I believe in calling it up. I believe in jinxes. I can't help it. Those are things that I don't know that I could ever get over. I don't know. Boy, that's cold. I used to love a cold coffee when I come in from work. I would leave my tail end of my coffee sitting on my desk, and I would come in the morning. The first thing I would do, I would drink that cold coffee. That was a treat for me. Not so much these days. Of course, let me tell you, what we just talked about, I'm thankful to have coffee. Oh my gosh. If I couldn't have coffee, nobody wants that. So, anyway, that's all we're going to talk about today. I encourage you to try to be grateful for something today, to try to be positive for something today, to try not to always bitch about everything. So, that's all I'm going to tell you today. And I hope you have what's this? Is Thursday. I hope you have a good Friday's Eve, and then a good Saturday's Eve, and I should be back, knock on wood, for a meal prep on Saturday. So I shall see you when I see you.